Mike Watkins is here with a new eye-popping page from the Polygamy Diaries. Mike?
Yes, indeed, Patty. A lot of knowledgeable people believe that tensions are on the rise in Colorado City and that the boiling point in the border town may be nearing. It's a confrontation that basically pits the town's FLDS community against the non-FLDS residents, a face-off that many believe has the local cops taking sides and playing favorites.
Sam, arrest me.
You can't arrest me! I am
Man, go back. Stay back here.
You are watching a dramatic scene shot by an amateur cameraman playing out in Colorado City last week.
Right, just go back here.
A scene showing 3 local cops, including the police chief Jonathan Roundy, the man there doing the talking, and 2 of his men, throwing to the ground, pinning down, cuffing, and arresting a 28-year-old wife and mother of 3 small children, a woman by the name of Genevieve Hainline. This just outside Hainline's home, as her children and family members can be heard crying in the background.
Get that officer away from me. You go to him. You go help
right now, or I'm going to pepper spray.
So they shoved me down on the dirt, in the ground, scrape up my forehead.
And that's what that's from.
That's what this is from. And this is 3 days old now. So then I'm afraid for my life. I'm screaming. I don't know what's going to happen. With the way these guys break the law, I have no idea what they're going to do to me.
They're way out of control.
That same morning, before Genevieve arrived at the scene and was arrested, her husband Matt had already been taken into custody and hauled off by the local cops.
They want their town with their people in it and their people only.
Indeed, the Hainlines believe they are among a growing number of people in Colorado City targeted for harassment and abuse by the local cops. The reason, the Hainlines say, because they are not followers of polygamous prophet Warren Jeffs and not members of the community's dominant FLDS faith. And let's be clear about it. Why is it that the police are coming after you?
Because we're not FLDS.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
And according to the Hainlines, the harassment against them and their children dates back a couple of years, ever since they were given an abandoned home in Colorado City by the court-appointed fiduciary in Salt Lake City that's now in charge of most of the land.
They want us out of here so bad that they're escalating to violence.
Genevieve points to her and her husband's arrest as examples of this escalating violence. Arrests that occurred, Genevieve says, after the FLDS cops sided with an FLDS neighbor in a disagreement over a shed on what the Hainlines and the court-appointed fiduciary say is on the Hainlines' land.
We've had all the paperwork to prove that it was our shop for 2 years, but we've been trying to be nice and give them time to move out. However, they haven't. All they've done is harass us.
I'm looking for Mr. Roundy. Do you know where he might be? Or,
I don't. You're not welcome in the fire station.
We, of course, wanted to talk to Police Chief Jonathan Roundy about all this, but one of his men, Jeremiah Darger, told us he wasn't available. Darger then went on to defend his department and deny that FLDS cops favor the FLDS community.
We enforce the law. The law is made by non-FLDS. They're made by the state and the
you
city.
guys enforce them fairly and equally?
Yes.
Yes. So you reject this. Would people say that you guys are basically just the gun-carrying arm of the FLDS church? What do you say to that?
I've never had anybody say that to me.
Nobody's ever accused you of playing favorites with the FLDS community?
Nope.
You be gentle with her. Make sure you're gentle with her.
My family was trying to stick up for me, and they had a load of men there making sure that they could abuse whoever they wanted to and whatever rights they wanted to, regardless of whether we have civil rights or any type of American rights.
Genevieve and her husband Matt spent the night in jail. They're now facing charges interfering with judicial process. We'll let you know how it all shakes down. The bottom line to this story, there are a lot of people who suddenly think the outside world has to get some outside cops into that community, or there may be bloodshed. It's not just me saying that. There's concerns over at the Attorney General's office. All of the judiciary in the area believe this. A lot of people saying that they need to get some outside cops to supervise that community. We will, of course, continue to monitor. I'm Mike Watkins for 3TV.
Good evening, Arizona. I'm Patty Kirkpatrick. They're sworn to uphold the law, but they're also sworn to support one Warren Jeffs. And as Mike Watkins explains, their love for the self-proclaimed polygamous prophet could cost them their badges. Mike?
Yeah, right you are, Patty. The careers of two Colorado City cops hanging in the balance this evening. The pair accused of violating their oaths of office. A drama that's now unfolding at a long-awaited and at times contentious disciplinary hearing here in Phoenix. Are you representing the people of Arizona, or are you doing the bidding of Warren Jeffs? Colorado City Town Marshal Fred Barlow clearly uninterested in answering any of our questions today. Anything you want to say? So too his cousin, Deputy Town Marshal Preston Barlow, but the two men now very much on the hot seat at a disciplinary hearing in Phoenix where the badges of the two lawmen are now at stake and could ultimately be revoked.
The allegations are that they may have violated certain duties that they have to perform services for the people of the community and the state of Arizona.
At issue whether the two Colorado City cops have violated their sworn oaths as law officers by allegedly failing to answer questions concerning the whereabouts of their spiritual leader, Warren Steed Jeffs, while the polygamous prophet was a fugitive on the run from child sex crime charges. Also at issue, whether the two men turned a blind eye last year while other Jeffs followers were allegedly stealing entire buildings from Colorado City despite a court order to keep the property in place.
There are two issues that are common to both of them. That there was an investigation done by the Attorney General's office of Arizona wherein some of the questions that were asked of them they refused to answer.
And one key piece of evidence against Town Marshal Fred Barlow, a letter that Barlow admits he wrote to Warren Jeffs while Jeffs was a fugitive, a letter confiscated when Warren Jeffs' younger brother Seth Jeffs was pulled over near Durango, Colorado in the fall of 2005, transporting nearly $150,000 and numerous correspondence to the prophet, a letter in which Fred Barlow pledges his undying allegiance to Warren Jeffs, saying, quote, "I love you and acknowledge you as my priesthood head and know you have the right to rule all aspects of my life."
I think the concern for the Arizona Peace Officer Standards and Training Board is, can these officers be trusted to follow the law if it comes into conflict with some other allegiance that they may have?
I.e. with Mr. Jeffs.
Precisely.
But a very different read from the two men's lawyer, Bruce Griffin, who says they're good cops and should hang on to their badges.
If you listen to all the evidence, I think you'll find that the conflict between their religion and their job is not one that cannot be remedied. They've remedied it. They've answered all questions. The tumult that was going on at the time has been resolved. They've been doing a good job. Check out their credentials as they've been doing for the last year. They've been doing a great job up there.
You come back to us live, you heard their attorneys say that they've answered all the questions. There's some debate about that, Patty. This hearing continues tomorrow. We will continue to follow, of course. If the two men are their badges are taken away, they would follow two other Colorado City police officers who lost their badges about 2 years ago. All of this an ongoing effort to wrest the control of that community away from Warren Jeffs and his followers.
All right, thanks very much, Mike.